the E equals MC squared of running. I'm your host, Maggie Cooper. I'm sorry it's been a while since I've been on, but that probably reflects my running as much as it does my enthusiasm to do the podcast, because I kind of got injured a bit back in the beginning of the year, and I had some problem with my ankle, and I thought that rest would sort it out, but actually it didn't really seem to make that much difference. I think it was kind of related to both the running quite a lot on hard concrete along the prom during lockdown, and also when I started driving again, taking the kids to school and stuff. So I think that kind of aggravated my my ankle. I still don't know what's wrong with it. It's not completely better, but it's an awful lot better than it was. Sometimes I struggle when I'm going quite quick, but I'm not going that quick, so it doesn't make that much difference. But anyway, it's not that I haven't been running it. And these last few months, I've actually really got back into training somewhat more properly, I would say, and it's fun and it's good to be back. Now, it's kind of been an eventful few months in terms of our athletics club. I run for Wirral AC and I help coach some of the youngsters at the club. And it's been a really, really exciting time over the summer with some great successes. You know, we had, I think, positioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 in the English schools in various different events, like the steeplechase or the 800 metres, 1500 metres, some of the shorter events too, which the other training squad that sort of related to our training squad compete in. So that's really, really exciting. And also we've taken part in things like the relays. The under 17 boys won the national road relays, which was really, really exciting. And we've run other competitions, such as there was like a relay, a 5-mile relay, which was done virtually, and our team won that too. So it was really exciting times over the summer, but unfortunately, partly because I'm not very fast, and also because I really had this problem with my foot, I wasn't able to really fully take part in running over the summer. But since the end of the summer, I've really kind of got back into the training, and now I feel as if I'm back on it again, and that's fun. So I have I ran a race. You know what? If you haven't run a race for a really long time, or maybe if you've never run a race, it's actually really nerve-wracking, and it kind of takes a lot of courage to actually, sort of step up to the line. And I had felt a little bit like that. I didn't really want to race over the cross country, even though I really enjoy the cross country. But I did take part in one of the road relays, and we had a little time trial along the prom, and it was just so funny because I was doing the time trial with the under 17s, and mostly they were boys. And there's this funny video of the start, and literally they are like 100 meters down the prom, and I'm like 20 meters down the prom. They are so quick setting off, and I'm so slow. But I wasn't, funny enough though, I wasn't the last one back, so maybe I'm not so bad. But and then I did the actual race, the road relay. I just ran one of the legs, I think, for the C team. I'm not sure, but it was just good to be back in competition. It gave me a bit of confidence, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad I did that, because that was before the cross country, and I ran the first cross country, not really feeling that I had that I was in a fit state to really run 5 miles over muddy fields or whatever, but really pleased with how I got on, and really enjoyed it. So I was like, give me a bit of enthusiasm and a bit of a buzz to really try and get some better training in and get fit. So these last couple of weeks I've really been trying to get consistent mileage in each week, and just taking a little bit care of this ankle, but still trying to do a little bit of faster stuff. So that's a lot of fun. Now, this episode, I wanted to talk about a rather unusual race that happened, in fact, yesterday, which was the 1 hour on the track record attempt by Alice Wright. Now, Alice is actually from Worcester, which is not that far from where I come from either. So a little bit of a connection perhaps. But she went to the United States to university and is still there and running there. So she had this attempt on the 1 hour record. It's a very strange, it's a kind of strange thing to get your head round, but basically you start on the athletics track and you just run round and round and round and round and round for an hour and see how far you get. Now, anybody who's got kids who do the Cooper run may be kind of more familiar with this concept. In the Cooper run, not named after me, I have to say, but you have to run for 12 minutes. And you just see how far you can get in 12 minutes. For the kids that go to the school that my kids go for, this is really an arduous activity, partly because the loop that they go round is actually only 100 meters. And so you're just like turning the whole time. I haven't actually ever done the whole 12 minutes, but I did run round with some of the kids while they were doing it. And it is really quite difficult to run around and around in such small circles. And I guess in a way, this 1 hour record attempt is a little bit like that, just running round and round and round in circles. So if you think like for 10k, you run 25 times round, and that takes you about a half an hour. So I guess you're running something like 50 laps or just a little bit under 50 laps. I believe that the previous record was something like 16.5k, and that was achieved by a lady called Michaela McCallum, who I'm familiar with because I once ran in the Hastings half marathon. I was quite fit at the time. It was it should have been relatively straightforward, but the problem with that half marathon was it just was like uphill. Like the half of it was just up. I cannot believe how hilly that area of the country is. And then when you turned around sort of to come back down, it wasn't just down. It was down and up a bit, and then down and up a bit. And then the worst bit was the last part was along the seafront. And there was like a gale in your face along the seafront. So there was like no respite at all. She came second. I believe I came seventh. I was really fed up and slow and everything. But she's a little bit older than me, but she's and a little bit better than me, but not that much better than me. And she had held that record for about 20 years. So it was a pretty long-standing record that Alice was trying to beat. So she had to try and run round an average of 87 seconds per lap in order to beat this record. And I was thinking that is quite achievable. It isn't really. I'm not saying it's not a difficult record to beat, and maybe the reason why it's not, hasn't been broken is possibly because those who maybe could have broken it have their mind set on bigger things. But it's still, you must have to have a certain mental strength to just keep going round and round the track, like those kids going around sort of 100 meters circuit, round and round and round. It seems endless, but sort of. When you're doing 10,000 meters on the track, it is pretty tedious. So to kind of keep up your concentration, keep the speed up, it's quite difficult. Now, Alice, right, I think her 10k best is something like 31:56, and she's got a half marathon time from San Diego of 1 hour 11 or something. So she's really good athlete. And the great thing about this race was that they showed it live. You can find it on YouTube, and it actually, you think it would be boring, but it's not boring at all. It's really quite exciting. She starts off, with some other people helping run around, and she's actually running pretty quick, something like 82 seconds per lap. But you don't know whether she's, going to be able to maintain the speed for that length of time, and as people start to slow, and you're like, is it slipping away? They were well inside, and now they're not quite so well inside the time, and it's really, you think it would be boring, but it's just not. It's really exciting to watch that type of thing. I think even actually somebody's talking about 20. I think it was reading a book, and it was talking about 24-hour race, and again you think that would be really boring. I mean, that's like running around the track for 24 hours, not just for 1 hour. But there's something kind of really engaging about it and almost mesmerizing about it. So, it was good. And so I say definitely worth kind of watching that video back. But so she ran around and she broke the record. I can't find the official distance that she ran, but I think it must have been about 17 K that she ran in total. I'd have to get confirmation. I think the world record is about 18. I think that's by Safan Hassan from the Netherlands. So so it was a lot. It was a pretty remarkable, pretty impressive run by her. And I just thought, I wonder whether anybody else, would consider trying to break that record. Because although I'm not saying it's easy, I'm also saying that even I think I could get close or could have got close back in the day. So, anybody who maybe thinks, is there a record that I can beat, a British record that I can beat? Maybe that would be one to go for. Another record that was broken this weekend was the Javelina 100, or is it the Javelina 100 race, which I actually reported on about a year. Well, it was a year ago now, because it's always on the weekend of the Halloween, and people dress up in different costumes and stuff like that, and run. There are different races for different distances, but the main race is this 100-mile race, and it's 5 laps round, and you like running past cacti and stuff like that. So I just think it would be great fun. I kind of really want to run it. I sort of on my bucket list, but I haven't got into ultras yet, so I'm not going to be running 100 miles yet. But the course record was broken by Camille Herron. She's also she's an amazing athlete, amazing distance athlete. She ran it in 14 hours and 3 minutes and 23 seconds for change. But she was 1 hour 45 minutes really ahead of the second place runner. So it was pretty impressive. I think she beat the course record by about 45 minutes. So it was a really, really good run. So well done to Camille Herron. But I don't think I'll be chasing down that time not anytime soon, not ever. Not ever. But it's just impressive, isn't it? How people can run. I don't know what that pace is in terms of miles per minutes per mile, but it's really still going some. And I noticed that Kaylee Demergen, who I interviewed about this time last year, she actually ran a loop with a friend of hers, so I thought it was rather nice that she did that. But I don't see that she didn't run the whole thing or one of the other races, I don't think, as far as I could tell. So so records, and another record which I wanted to report on, because I'm not sure whether I followed up on this after I interviewed Aileen and Sarah Kearney from our club, who were going for the world record attempt for mother and daughter in half marathon. Well, I can report that they broke that record, and that was truly amazing, and they got a lovely certificate and the photos and stuff like that. And it was a really, really exciting weekend to see them smash that record. I'm not sure whether they got plans for any other records. Poor Aileen, she's really a 400-metre runner, and she's forced to run a half marathon by her family, and also forced, poor thing, to do the cross country and beat me. So she's a pretty decent runner in her own right. So that's the news, and that's what catching up from last time. Now I'm going to try and do more of these podcasts. I want to see if I can find some other interesting sports medicine or sports science papers to report back on too. I've got a few exciting ideas, so I'm going to follow those up. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and please tune in next time to the E = MC² of running. Bye for now.